and saying that that he sees, like, just like the waves of the river enter the ocean, same way he's seeing all the sons of Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all entering into your mouth, and that, and your effulgence is so bright that my eyes, I cannot even open my eyes. So he continues in the last week. What we heard was complete glorification, excessive bewilderment, astonishment from Arjuna's side, seeing the universal form of Lord Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, you reminded me of a very good point. Yes, there were two analogies, right? There was one river flowing to the oceans and the moths running into fire. And they both represented different category of the opposite warriors, warriors in the opposite party. The river gliding to the ocean is more of a respectable way of respectable analogy, which was more for like Bhishma. Whereas the moths entering the blazing fire was more for the Kauravas. The metaphor was more for the Kauravas. Because Duryodhan, knowingly, intentionally, he chose to come to the war, which is very much like fire, and he's going to get burnt in it. Yeah, thank you. That was a good summary.
I want to add one more thing besides that. I think this is the chapter where the relationship of Arjuna and Krishna will change. So far, so he was his friend, and now the shift, he he understand that he's the Supreme Lord. So he's more as a devotee, and not the friendship, right? It's like a more respect, and he's a devotee and he's a Lord, like Krishna is a Lord.
Yes, that's also a very good point you bring up. Yes, it was astonishment and also fear. Both the rasas were being demonstrated by Arjun. There was a change, and we will see more of that as we go on now. From 32nd verse onwards, there will be a few more prayers that Arjun is going to make, and there we will see that how he's repentant that I treated you as a friend. So he goes into more details. Yes, thank you.
Prabhuji, before we start, why is he asking, who are you? He already knows that he only asked to see the universal form, and now he's saying, who are you? Means that why this question after he is such a knowledgeable Arjuna, right? He's so knowledgeable, he has the understanding that he's seeing the universal form of the Lord. So why I know he's all bewildered, astonished, I understand all that, confused and fearful. But then why is he asking, who are you? Means this is a very blunt and straight question. Means that.
Yeah, so so the question is, there are two parts to it. Who are you and what is your mission? So when he's asking, who are you? He's kind of asking about the Kala Rupa, okay? The fearful form. He knows who's Krishna. He knows that he's Krishna. He's his friend. But then, if you, I think there was one of the earlier verses where, so just imagine the scenario, right? They're sitting in the chariot. Arjun is held up high, looking at all that what he's seeing. He's not even looking at Krishna anymore. Krishna has kind of disappeared from his eyes because he's looking at the Virat Rupa. So he's moved away from Krishna and he's looking at this Kala Rupa. And that's another aspect to understand in this chapter, is that Krishna is demonstrating his Kala Rupa, which he has never demonstrated in the past. We discussed that earlier. Yashoda Maya saw all the universes in his mouth. Duryodhan also saw that that Krishna became large, and then all that. So nobody saw the Kala Rupa. So this is for the first time somebody is seeing a fearful form, which is practically chewing on the warriors out there. So it's a very fearful form. So it's kind of a heartfelt fear that is being expressed in Arjun's questions. Who are you? What's going on here? I don't understand. Why have you come here? Kind of. So he's in that mode right now.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Because as this Kal Rupa, we saw that, right? He saw Duryodhan, Karna, everybody going into his mouth, all the warriors, somebody's skull was stuck in his teeth, very graphically explained. So that's why it's being asked here that, what's going on here? Why, who are you? So the Kal Rupa aspect is what is being questioned here. Yeah. So yes, so this verse, so this was the question that Arjun asked. So in the 32nd question, it's now there are a few verses which are very important for us. Important because now this is kind of the more important part of the chapter. What we have been reading is more of just a description of the form, but here Krishna is giving his identity, that why has he come here, and you can see it at multiple levels. So let's read that, or let's read the verse. The verse is very good, and this is a verse that I think Prabhupada has given lectures only on this verse for this chapter. He hasn't talked much about it. So Kalo asmi lokshaya krit praviddho lokan samahartum iha pravritta rite api tvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye avasthita pratyanikeshu yodha. So he's saying that Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Right? So rite, there's a word called rite. The word rite means accept. So except you, everybody will be gone. So rite means that, or without you. So the thing is that now let's read at the purport. The purport is very good here also. Let's see that. Although Arjun knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the supreme truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas. As stated in the Katha Upanishad, Yasya Brahma cha Shatram cha Ubhe Bhavata Odana Mrityu Yasho Pasheshanam Ka Itha Veda Yatra Saha. Eventually, all the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in the form of all-devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjun was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjun stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of the nature, right? So Prabhupada is telling us more details that even if Arjun doesn't fight, destruction is ordained. They all are going to die. So this is Krishna's mission, specifically in this Kala Rupa, that he's come to take everybody away as all-devouring time, as death. We read in the 4th chapter, right? Krishna has paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna gives the reason why he comes, and the first reason is the paritranaya sadhunam, to take care of my devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. So when Krishna arranged this war, he was doing paritranaya sadhunam because the government was being run by cheaters like Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra, and they were harassing the good people. Right? They were not good kings. So Krishna was fulfilling that. And then, so he was doing paritranaya sadhana, vinashaya cha dushkritam. So all the dushkritanas, he's going to kill all of them. So Krishna is fulfilling his purpose, his main mission. Right? So that's being mentioned here. Right? Recently, not recently, I don't know, but there was a few years ago, there was a case in Russia where there was a court discussion going on against Bhagavad Gita. There were some people who were asking Bhagavad Gita to be banned, and they were quoting this verse. There's this black god, and he's here to destroy everything, and he's demoniac, and so forth. Well, they couldn't do it, but there was this case here, and that's what happens when we understand Bhagavad Gita in a what's that? The half-hand logic. It's Ardha Kukut Nyaya. Half-hand logic. People who are demoniac in nature, they want to only accept the side which furthers their material enjoyment. So that's kind of of way people see it. Demoniac people see it. They only want to see what is furthering their material enjoyment, and they don't want to see the other part. So people just pick up one part and they try to explain the whole Bhagavad Gita on this. Like in India, everybody says, oh, I know, I've read Bhagavad Gita. It says, do your job, apna karm karo, they say. But that's not what Bhagavad Gita says. It says much more than that. And that's not even the complete part. That knowledge is incomplete, right? So here Krishna is saying, I have come as time, but he's come with a purpose. He's not a demoniac god or something. He's not a demon. And Prabhupada is quoting this verse from Katha Upanishad. It's again a very good verse where he's saying that all the Brahmins and Kshatriyas will be eventually consumed. As time, we all will be consumed. Right? The word odana, there's the word odana here, which means very much like khichdi, boiled rice. So that's the representation here, odana. So, but we as devotees, we don't approach Krishna out of fear. We approach Krishna out of love. Right. So love is the best platform. Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells us that there are 4 levels on which we can do bhakti. The lowest is fear. Then comes prospect. What is in it for me? Then it can be duty, and then it can be love. The love is the topmost. Love is the best platform. And Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad Gita teaches us that Krishna wants us to come to him out of love, not out of fear or pure prospect. Duty is also okay. The duty is also a good position to be in, but the best position is love. So those who are not following Krishna's order, they keep becoming odhana. So time is all devouring. So time is all devouring. We will be 5 years old in 5 years anyways, but we can make this time useful. I heard of heard this phrase somewhere. Don't go through life, grow through life. So trying to grow through the time that we are using. Every moment is a teachable moment for us. And this human life is meant for tapasya. That's what King Rishabh Dev was teaching to his children in the 5th canto, 5th chapter. The first verse he says is Nayam deho deha bhaje nirloke kaschan kaman arhate cha vid bhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhahet yasmad brahma saukyam tu anantam. What he's saying is that Nayam deho deha bhaje nirloke kaschan kaman arhate vid bhujam ye. So vid bhujam is a pig. Vid bhujam means a stool eater. So vid bhujam is a pig. So Rishabh Dev is telling his sons that tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam. Now you've got this human body, so do tapasya. But what kind of tapasya? It has to be transcendental. Then it'll make you shuddha, brahma saukyam. It'll give you that transcendental pleasure you all are looking for. So tapasya is the wealth of the intelligent. So so things are happening by the like Prabhupada is saying in this verse. You see, time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of time. This is the law of nature. We cannot change much. Things are just going downhill, whichever way they are going. They keep going, and we can't do much about it. Okay. So I remember there was this lecture Prabhupada was giving, not a lecture, sorry, to the morning walk. I recently heard that in Caracas, Venezuela, 1975. Prabhupada said to them that you don't worry about others. You do your bhakti and you go back home, back to Godhead. This world, it's nature. That is happening. It'll keep happening. Right? Was that Narad Muni says this to I think he's saying this to Yudhishthir Maharaj. When Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they leave Hastinapur, Vidur takes them away. Then next morning, Yudhishthir wakes up and he doesn't find his uncle and aunt. And then same time, Narad Muni walks in, and so Yudhishthira is afraid, and he asks Narad Muni that where are my uncle and aunt? And that's where Narad Muni teaches them that hey, life's just going on. Don't get attached to it. You do your duty to the best of your capacity, and you move forward. And he says, Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. What Narad Muni told Yudhishthira was jivo jivasya jivanam. that one living entity is the food of another living entity. That's the way that's the way this world moves. Ahastani sahastanam. The one without the hand is the food of the one with the hand. Apadani chatushpadam. The one without any feet is the food of one who has 4 feet. So this thing has been just going on. Time is divine, and it's just been going and going, and we can't stop anything. So, but we can surely use time, this divine time, in a very appropriate way by being in the present moment. Right? So all the power that we have is only in the present moment. I cannot operate in the future because it's just a concept in my mind, and I cannot do anything about the past. So Prabhupada is explaining the purport that it's nature. Nature is just going on. So you just be a instrument. And I think we'll see that in the later verse that Krishna asks Arjuna, you just be an instrument. Don't try to do anything else. This verse he's saying, Nimitta Matra Bhava Sabyasachi. This is one of the most important messages of Bhagavad Gita, that we have to be an instrument. And I will read this. But yes, that's the law of nature.
Prabhuji, what does time is destruction exactly mean? Krishna is saying that this is the time for destruction. Now, what is this? Time is destruction.
Time is destruction. What Prabhupada means by that, and he's further explained, all manifestations are to be vanquished. Yeah, everything you see is going to go away eventually. Might be today, might be a month later, a year, probably 1,000 years later, but everything will be go away by the effect of time. So time is basically a representation of destruction. That's the way to understand this. Right?
Thank you, Prabhu.
You leave a toy out in the sun, for a few days, then the toy breaks apart. The glue just liquefies and everything goes away. Things just break apart. That's what time does to us. So yes, that's what time is meaning. Oh, this is a very good verse. Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labhashva jitva shatrun bhukshva rajyam samriddham maya vaite nihata purvameva nimitt matram bhava sabyasachi. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. This is you can make it as a mantra for yourself and just paste it on your refrigerator whenever you're more demotivated or anything. You can recite this: that stand up and fight, conquer your enemies. It's a very good verse, right? So time is precious. Time is Krishna, and to the time we become Krishna, to the degree we become Krishna conscious, time becomes our friend. This Kala Chakra, which is being talked about here, it controls destiny, it controls all our activities, etc., of all the living entities. It precisely awards the good and bad at the right time to everybody, in the right time, place, and circumstance. And who rules this Kala Chakra? It's Krishna. We hear that in the Brahma Samhita. Yachakshuresha savita sakala grahanam rajan samastasura murti mashesha teja yasyagya brahmati sambrata kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So that Kala Chakra is under the control of Krishna. So Krishna is revealing himself here. Who am I? I'm time. Right? I'm Kal. So it has to be seen in that context. And why have I appeared in this battle? I have come to ensure everyone is destroyed except you Pandavas, who have been practicing dharma. Right? Arjun was seeing this as mission impossible. Right? Earlier he was saying, how am I going to fight my own kinsmen and all that? But now he's realizing this is a mission unstoppable. Nothing is going to stop Krishna now. Right? Nothing can stop this. It's going to happen eventually for sure. But and similar to us, we should try our best to not get attached to things. But then when we attach to Krishna, when we become Krishna conscious, then and when we know Krishna is on our side, we get two things out of it. We get relief and we get confidence in whatever we are doing in service. Right? Understanding that Krishna has some plan for us decreases our mental agitation caused by the attachment to results. We all have, at least I get attached to results extensively. But then whenever I'm getting agitated, I remind myself that Krishna is in control, and that kind of calms me down a bit. So all our mental agitation can be controlled if we realize that Krishna is taking care of us the whole time. There's nothing to be feared about, right? If you're too attached to results, failing to get them will dishearten us. And getting them will delight us, but that's also very temporary, because everything material is temporary, right? And the craving for results keep us agitated, right? But in the bigger picture, when we understand that we just have to play a part in Krishna's arrangement, then we endeavor wholeheartedly, right? So just imagine, right? So if we get the results, we offer them to Krishna as an expression of our devotion. We don't want the results also for ourselves. If we don't get the results, still Krishna is pleased by our endeavors and hard work. So it's both ways we are getting benefit. So Krishna reciprocates by revealing his all attractiveness to us, which increases our attraction for him, right? And this increased attraction makes us steady in our practice, and it stabilizes us. So Krishna, as we have talked about it earlier many times, Krishna is only looking for our sincerity. That's only he's looking for. He's not expecting us that, that every endeavor we do, we should be successful in it. No, that's not going to happen. So it's okay. Krishna is saying, you just be my instrument. Don't try to be the doer, just be an instrument, right? So, and that will give us that peace we are looking for, the happiness. So in this verse, Krishna starts with tasmad. Tasmad means therefore, right? So therefore, tasmad means therefore, right? So in the last verse, Krishna had said that all are going to die. So Arjun, you're going to be victorious. So yasho labhashva, right? So take that benefit, or was that enjoy the flourishing kingdom, yasho labhashva. Right? So Krishna is telling him. So this kind of, in a sense, indicates that the war outcome is already fixed. Krishna doesn't need us for anything. This is more for consciousness building, transformation at a spiritual level, right? So Krishna is only concerned with us fixing our consciousness in his devotional service, by which we become purified and elevated. Yes, Asmita Mataji.
So you said that everything is fixed. So that means even our path is written, right?
Well, I didn't say everything is fixed. I said that the outcome of the war is fixed. I'm very talking about specifically about this context.
But like so is our path fixed, or our path is not fixed? It's based on, I know it's based on our karma, but is there anything that's fixed as far as our life is concerned?
Well, the way it is, the way it works, Mataji, is that whatever we are getting as a result of our past karmas, that's already fixed. We cannot define it because our past karmas have defined it for us. But how do I react to that situation is not fixed, right? Let's say I'm walking on the street, somebody bangs my car. I have two options. I can just come out of the car, exchange, insurance details, and go home and file an insurance claim. The other is I can just lose control of myself and just go get angry on that other person, start banging getting angry, screaming my lungs out. So getting that car banging was not in my control, but how I reacted to it is fully under my control. So what I mean by that is, yes, things are fixed in life, but how I react to them is not fixed in life. And that doesn't mean Krishna does not know everything. What Krishna knows is that, hey, Prem-dham, today your car gets banged, you will have these 4 possible outcomes. And Krishna knows about all of them. But that tiny free will that I have, I decide which of those 4 paths I am going to take. So in one sense, some part is fixed, some part is not fixed about ourselves. But Krishna is omniscient, he knows everything. Okay. But because he knows, he's like how to say it, very much like our past, right? You know your past, but you can't do anything about it. Krishna knows what we are going to do, but he chooses not to do anything about it because he wants us to come to him out of love. He wants us to take the right decisions every time. Just like when children are growing up, we want the kids to take their own decisions. So sometimes we let them take their decisions. Even though it might be a wrong one, we'll still say, no, I want him to grow confidence, build confidence. Let him him or her take a decision. That's the way to look at it, Mataji. Was that helpful? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, yes, it was helpful.
Okay, your voice is very low. I'm not sure if you're speaking for far off or you're close to your phone or laptop, but okay.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. It was helpful.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Yes, so yes, but when I said it's fixed for this war. But if you look at it from a different scenario, even before the war started, Duryodhan had this option, as I was saying. Yes, probably what happened to Duryodhan, somebody, he stayed back in Hastinapur and he fell in the pond, and probably Draupadi said something to. He still had a choice how to react to it, right? The Pandavas had a choice how they wanted to react to anything. But Duryodhan voluntarily chose to have a war, and Krishna cannot do anything in it. Krishna is God. Krishna could just went and make him change his mind. But no, Krishna never does that. Krishna wants us to come to him out of love. So now the war is happening. So Krishna said, fine, Duryodhan, you wanted to come here, that's fine. Now you're going to suffer for it. This is what's going to come to you. So, and the bigger part as devotees for us to see is that Krishna is only asking us to do our endeavors, only be the instrument. Yeah. And we'll talk more about it when, yeah. So, but then just let's look at the verse, Jitva Shatru, conquer your enemies, right? And Bhunksva Rajyam Samriddham, enjoy a flourishing kingdom. So that's what she's saying. He's saying, Bhunksva Rajyam Samriddham. That enjoy this flourishing kingdom, just that's a good way of looking at it. Maya eva nihita purvameva. And he's saying that Maya eva nihita purvameva. That what that means is that they're already put to death by my arrangement. And now that's an interesting thing, like you would think that war has not even started. What does that mean? That you've already done it in the past. What does it mean? So if you remember in the first chapter, Arjun asks Krishna to take him to the middle of the battlefield. And I think in the beginning in this first chapter itself. And then Krishna drives the chariot to the middle of the battlefield. And there, Krishna says to Arjun, he tells him, here, look at all these people here, right? Partha, Isha, Pashyanetan. So he says that, look at all of these people. So at that time, when he was asking Arjun to see all of them, Krishna was also looking at all of them, and he was very angry with them. He was also looking at all the warriors who had assembled. He was angry because what Kauravas had done, the insult they had given to Draupadi. So by just looking at them, he had already cut their life, diminished their lifespan. So that's what Krishna means here. They're already put to death. Don't worry, because I am supreme. And, I saw all of them right at the beginning before I started speaking to you. They all are going. They all are going. I don't appreciate what they did to my pure devotees. So that's what he means by that. Maya eva hita purvamesha, purvameva. Then Krishna calls Arjun Savyasachi. So Savyasachi means ambidextrous. He's good with both hands, right? So that's what Savyasachi means. And it's also if you look at it from an analogy perspective, devotees, right? Sometimes people think that devotees are not good for anything. They think, oh, what you guys do, you sit and chant, and you don't take much initiative in the material world, and you just stay aloof. That was a big challenge that devotees used to face in the early 70s, because they would just be chanting on the streets and singing, chanting, and distributing books, and they were all in their saffron clothes or in the dhoti kurta. So many of the shows, they had those shows, and their devotees would go, and this is the first allegation people would put on them, that hey, you don't do anything for the society, right? But on the contrary, and you all might have seen it, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, that was, I think, way back in 1980s. He gave an interview, and I've seen that show recently. I saw it, and that the show host was putting this allegation on Maharaj that, you don't do anything. And Maharaj gave him a beautiful reply, and he said, on the contrary, you are not doing anything for the material society, we are doing it. And so that's what people think. So that's what the meaning Sabyasachi also comes out, right? That we actually do more. We have a sense that that we have to do work for maintaining ourselves in this material world, right? And this has to be done expertly. A devotee knows that fully. But at the same time, my objective is to become Krishna conscious, right? And that makes the life more productive, because I'm not wasting my life in getting material results the whole time. I'm doing my material duties, but I'm not wasting my energy on thinking about the results. I'm using that energy in bhakti, and that makes my life more productive. Ishopnishad, there is a verse, Vidyam cha yash tat vedo bhayam saha. Vidyayam amritum tirtva, avidyayam amritum ashnute. That you have to work in the material world side by side along with your bhakti. So that's we look at it. So when Krishna is saying be an instrument, so whatever situation we are, we serve Krishna. And in serving Krishna, I do the best justice to my talent. So we just have to become instruments to Krishna's plan. So our intelligence gets perfected when we use it for Krishna, when we connect with Krishna. Nimitta Matra doesn't mean that Arjun is being limited by Krishna. Arjun was extremely skilled, and Krishna is calling him Sabyasachi. So he's acknowledging his ability, right? So, but then, so it doesn't mean that Krishna is saying, "Oh no, you don't think about it. You just be my instrument." No, he's acknowledging our abilities, and he appreciates that. And so when we do our sadhana properly and we show to Krishna that we want to serve him, so that's being nimitta matra, because that's Krishna we are a part of that bigger cosmic plan that Krishna has, that he wants everybody to come back home. So we are playing instrumental role in there, right? And there's sometimes we don't know how to serve Krishna, and Krishna gives us intelligence, right? So I should try to be more of an instrument for Krishna. I'm mostly an instrument of Maya, right? And we always have that option. I can be an instrument of Maya, I can be an instrument of Krishna. That's my choice, right? We are always instruments, either Maya, either Krishna. We are always instruments. We never go above that, right? So we have to make a choice what we want to be. In the material world, things are now become so techno-savvy. Google tracks all my personal choices, right? And it keeps sending me recommendations how I can further my material desires. Hey, Prem, now you looked at these shoes. Here, see these ones. They're better. They're cheaper. You can buy them from here and there. So that's what Google is doing. So they're just trying to further my material desires. Want me to be more of an instrument of Maya. That's what this all things do. So we have a choice always, right? Devotees willfully want to be directed by Krishna, whereas non-devotees, they don't want to be. They desire independence from Krishna, right? Excuse me. And then sometimes you can ask this question also then, oh, why are devotees not successful if Krishna is always thinking about them, taking care of them, right? So sometimes Krishna can take away, from devotees from being successful. Right? So sometimes Krishna wants to teach us a lesson. He wants to teach us that victory doesn't come by your endeavors alone, by my endeavors alone. It comes by Krishna's grace. Right? So when we succeed after failures, means it's coming by Krishna's grace. Therefore, I'm dependent on Krishna. If I become proud, my Krishna can withdraw his mercy from me. Right? So the only purpose of this material world is purification. Going from bhoga vritti, the desire to enjoy, to seva vritti, the desire to be of service, desire to be an instrument, and go back home. There is no other purpose in this world. You can create a billion other purposes, but no, all those they don't exist. The only purpose for us to exist on this place of this planet Earth is that we can purify ourselves and go back home, back to Godhead. And the material world keeps sending us signals for this purpose all the time. Right? Just like, if you have guests at home, So initially 2 or 3 days, okay, that's fine. You enjoy the guests being there, but then they become a burden. We start looking at them as burdens. So the typical Indian style is that you don't say directly to them that you're a burden. You start by, no, first day there is no salt in the sabji. So or that the guest asks and you just don't pay attention to it. And the next day you just make a very simple meal. There's no chapati, there's no salad in the lunch. So that's where you keep giving hints to the guest. So similarly, this material world keeps giving us hints, right? So the Maya initially treats us nicely, but later starts hinting us towards our purpose, right? We should get a clue, but somehow I start thinking, no, I'll adjust here. I'm okay. And I'll find a way out. I'll make things better here. But devotees have this benefit that we know that it's not that this material world has a problem. This material world by itself is the problem. Then we don't worry. Then we don't try to fix things. We don't try to make things all the time thinking, well, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna ye bhaje se ati chatur. Se bada chatur, ne ati chatur. So you're saying that the one who is a devotee of Krishna, he's very smart. So very important verse. This is the most important verse of this chapter. You can see this as a motivational mantra. Print it out, put on your fridge. And Krishna wants us to conquer our enemies. Anger, avarice, laziness. And what he wants is you control those enemies, conquer those enemies, and bhungshva rajan. Then we can become a part of Krishna's kingdom. We can go and enjoy with him. I always remember Prabhupada. I have this vivid picture in mind that Prabhupada is sitting on his bed and with his one knee up with hand on it, and he's saying that, oh, I just want to be with Krishna and eat samosa kachori with him. So Krishna is opening up the doors of his home for all of us, right? And the beautiful part is, and this is the other way of looking at this verse. So initially I told you one. So the other way is, Krishna is saying, you conquer your enemies within your heart and you come to me. And the best part is those enemies are already conquered. How? Because we all voluntarily took up bhakti. Right? Because we all voluntarily chose that, no, Krishna, I will spend my efforts towards you, towards knowing you, towards your service. So these enemies are already killed. Right? It's just a matter of time that is separating us from Krishna. The moment you all took up bhakti, your success is guaranteed. So whenever you're chanting this mantra, change the name Savyasachin with your name. Say Nimitta Matra Bhava, and you put your name after that, and you chant this mantra to yourself. Krishna is saying you're already succeeded, you're already successful. Just because you voluntarily chose to do bhakti, you're already successful, everyone, each and every one. So we just be an instrument. And whoever is sincere, Krishna chooses that person as an instrument. That's another way, how he chooses. Krishna, when we are sincere to the bottom of our heart, Krishna chooses us as an instrument. Right? That's the beauty of it. And Krishna can take away that also. He can take away that power as an instrument also from us. He can do that also. When Arjun, after the battle, Mahabharata and everything happened, Krishna had left the planet. Arjun went to get Krishna's wives to Hastinapur. And in between, on the way, Arjun was defeated by some cowherd boys, infidel cowherd boys, who captured those wives and ran away with them. Arjuna couldn't defeat them. Arjuna, who had defeated every demigods and whatnot, but he couldn't defeat some simple cowherd boys who were not even Kshatriyas. So Krishna had taken away that power of an instrument from Arjuna because he didn't need it anymore. So we should not feel entitled anytime. We should not feel proud. Give credit wherever it's due. So whenever you feel depressed, if you ever feel that you cannot do something about it, you just chant this verse. Okay, I'll take a pause here. This was a very important verse, so I wanted to spend some time on this. Any thoughts, comments, anything on your mind, please share.
Prabhuji, I just had one question to ask Prabhuji. When you mentioned that they are already dead, they are already put to death, and then you described about the chapter 1 when Krishna drives a chariot to the middle of the battlefield, and he looks at the warrior, and then you said they were put to death. Means that part I did not understand. I can't hear you, Prabhu.
Sorry. So what I meant was that when Krishna took Arjun to the middle of the battlefield, Arjun was looking at all the warriors, and Krishna was also looking at all the warriors. But when Krishna was looking at them, Krishna, because being supreme and being angry also, he was angry at that time because his pure devotees had been mistreated by Duryodhan, Draupadi was mistreated, Pandu was mistreated, and Krishna was angry. And because Krishna is supreme, he had already diminished their lifespan just by looking at them, and he was saying, okay, these guys, I'm going to kill all of them, and nothing is going to stop it because I'm supreme. So that in that mindset, he's saying, oh, they're already gone, they're done. Sometimes you are so confident about something's going to happen that you claim that it's already done. That's the way to see it.
Got it. Makes sense, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank
because he was really very angry. Krishna was very angry with all of them. Obviously, Krishna is the supreme being, so he can control his anger, everything to the perfection. But he was angry the way the Pandavas were treated, Draupadi were treated. So he had already made his plan that the moment Duryodhan refused to accept when Krishna came as a peace messenger, Krishna was already sure, okay, you all are gone now. So that's how he meant it.
Prabhuji very beautifully explained that when we do our sadhana properly, we are the instrument of Krishna as we are the instrument of Maya. And that reminds me one incident of about Indra, right? When he was cursed by Lord Vishnu because he looked at some I don't remember exactly somebody in the Indralok not with the correct eye, means with the bad intentions. And so Lord Vishnu cursed him and he became a pig. And Maya is so strong, he was enjoying being a pig only. He did not even want to come back. Narad came and asked him to come back. He said, no, I'm enjoying perfectly here. Even in the dirt, he was enjoying. So that's how strong Maya is. So definitely we have to really work hard. As you mentioned, we have to be totally sincere in our bhakti, and that is what Krishna is saying. And that is how we can become the instrument of Krishna instead of becoming the instrument of Maya. And when you say about controlling, you are basically talking about controlling all the anger, lust, anger, greed, jealousy, envy, and all that stuff, all the anarthas in our heart. And once we have controlled and we are sincere in our bhakti, we can go back to Godhead. So it was very beautifully explained, Prabhu.
Thank you. Yes, and it's a very hope-giving verse. That's why I was saying that whenever you are depressed, chant this verse, put your name, remove Sabyasachi's name, put your name in the end, and you chant it. Just imagine Krishna is saying they all are already killed. All these, you have in your heart, anger, laziness, greed, whatever it is, they all are killed. It's just a matter of time. You be so confident that they all are already killed. Just because you have voluntarily accepted bhakti, you have already surrendered to a devotee, a pure soul. You are already done. Be so positive that nobody now it's only time that is separating you from Krishna. That's all, nothing else. You are already successful, right? But then what sincerity is that we just follow exactly what Krishna wants us to do, right? And it's a sometimes people think that, oh yes, I'll do service, or yes, service is very good. There also has to be simultaneously we also have to clean our heart. As we grow old in bhakti, sometimes now I'm not as strong as I was 10 years ago, and I'm getting older now. Probably 10 years from now I might not be able to pick up those heavy book boxes I pick up, but then simultaneously I have to start cleaning up my heart. If I just do physical service and I don't do internal cleanup, then the whole outcome is not going to be there, because the enemies are sitting right in me. Yes, service will help me. I'm not saying it won't help me, but the complete package comes in when I clean my heart. That's where the action happens. We still continue to do service, but that service becomes internal, and that's cleaning of our heart, right? And as we keep doing service, but the service should be done with a very clear intention that I'm doing it for self-purification. I'm not doing it too because, oh, because of me, this person will become a devotee. Because of me, see, this person started chanting 16 rounds. Or see, because of me, he or she's doing. No, that's not the goal. Krishna can make every single living entity a devotee within a fraction of a second. So I'm just, to be an instrument in his part is just to do the job, what Krishna is asking me with full sincerity, right? And thinking that I'm being purified by doing it. So giving unconditional love, warmth and unconditional love with an intention of self-purification. This should be our mantra for any service we do. But yes, thank you, Madhuri. That was a very good thought you shared. Okay, let's move on. So we're going on 34. 34. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. So Krishna is saying all these enemies, they have been killed already by my arrangement, right? And there is a, Krishna is speaking these names for a reason. Jayadratha it's a very special name. You would think, oh, where does Jayadratha come from? Drona, Bhishma, Karna, Duryodhana should have been there. But Jayadratha's name is mentioned because he plays a very crucial role in the war. He played a major role in Abhimanyu's death. If you remember, what happened was that Jayadratha was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva had given him a boon that once in your lifetime, you will have the power that none of your enemies will be able to overcome you in a battle. And he used that boon that time when Abhimanyu entered the Chakravyuh to break the Chakravyuh, and then all the other Pandavas was trying to get in, but Jayadratha stopped them. So he played a very major role in the war. So Jayadratha's name is there. Karna, Drona, Bhishma, they had their particular strengths, and they were incomparable in those strengths. Bhishma was most powerful, right? We all know that. So Karna, I've read this that Karna was stronger than all the 5 Pandavas. He was more skilled than all the 5 Pandavas. But because he took the wrong path, he chose the wrong path, he also had to die. Sometimes people glorify Karna, and I don't appreciate that. People say, "Oh, Karna was such a nice person, and oh, he gave up his, what he was. He was born with this shield, and I think shield and earrings, and Indra kind of came and took those away by trick." So people say, "Oh, he was cheated," and so on and so forth. But we should always look at how Vyasadeva has demonstrated Karna, because Vyasadeva is the author, right? So why should we look at other people's opinions? So he was a demon in the last life. Therefore these specific names are brought here. So and Krishna is saying that kill them, don't think about what is right and wrong, just do it. This is the first time just do it was used. Nike took it over. So just do it, because all these have transgressed the laws of dharma. You just go and do it, right? And then what he's saying is that you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Let's read. Oh, I've highlighted the whole purport. Let's see. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. Yes, all the pure devotees have a plan to purify as many, to give bhakti to as many people as they can. And Prabhupada is using this word mercy. He used it twice at least in the other. I saw merciful and mercy. So if you understand what does mercy mean, if somebody says, so mercy means when we get something which we don't deserve. Okay? That's mercy. It can come in many ways: guidance, inspiration, service opportunities, sometimes chastisement also. Our senior devotees chastise us. So mercy comes in many ways. Okay? So Krishna's plan is understood by his mercy. So if you connect it to the earlier verse, when we become sincere in our activities and we try our level best to follow Krishna's orders, then Krishna's mercy starts to flow in our lives. And Krishna's mercy can, and I what I'm realizing as I grow old, mercy, understand that Krishna is merciful when he starts pointing out your mistakes to you, to me. Because we know, yeah, okay, theoretically, I know my heart has envy, jealousy, so many things in there. But I only start to fix them when I actually realize those problems. If I don't realize them, I won't fix them. Knowing them is not going to do the job. So Krishna's mercy flows in that way very often. You know, we all, there are those Shraddha, Bhajan Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti is where the whole process of cleansing of the heart is happening. And if Krishna has started to point out our mistakes, we should know that, okay, Krishna's mercy is flowing to me for whatever reason. We don't know, but Krishna is sending me his mercy. And so we will be victorious in our struggle. Okay. Sanjaya comes back. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjun offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Where's that word? Bhita Bhita. I like this word. Bhita Bhita. It means fearful. So Bhita in Hindi, you know, people who speak Hindi, they know Bhita Bhita means that. So now the rasa has changed to fear. Yeah? So, and there's a beautiful name for Arjun in here. What is that? Kiriti. 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 Arjun is called Kiriti. So he got this name from Indra. Once he had helped Indra destroy a clan of demons, and so Indra gave him a golden crown, and he gave him and he called him Kiriti. Right. So here, so now here he's speaking now. Sanjay now has a purpose, right? There's a reason why he's mentioning this. Why is he speaking this way? He's thinking of the helpless Dhritarashtra. So he now has understood, you know, Sanjay has also understood Dhritarashtra. Duryodhana is for sure gone. He's dead. And so are the other ones. You know, he mentioned those Drona, Bhishma, Karna, Jayadratha, all of them. They're all gone. So Sanjay thought that if I put this fear in Dhritarashtra's heart, losing hope of victory, he might conclude, and you know, he might have some peace. He might demand peace. You know, he might not let the war move forward. But under the influence of fate, Dhritarashtra did not even listen to that. So how unfortunate he was. So this is what Sanjay. That's why Sanjay just jumps into the picture for a verse. Arjun said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So that's a nice verse. So this verse, this is which verse? 36. 36 to 38. The next three, this and the next two verses, Arjun is going to glorify the Kala Rupa. Okay. So he's going to start glorifying it. So he's calling Krishna Rishikesha. He's calling him Rishikesha. Sthane Rishikesha tava prakritya. So the reason he's calling Krishna Rishikesh now, because he's saying, Krishna, you are the master of senses. So he's indirectly indicating that please use my senses also now. I want to become an instrument. So Arjun is demonstrating that desire by using the word Rishikesha. Right? That please use my senses now also. Krishna, just like you're the master of senses, so you use my senses also. Right? So he says, Jagat Praharshati. Jagat Praharshati means the world becomes joyful. And Anurajyate means they becoming attached to you. Right? So we have to remember that if we go on chanting and hearing and keep a sincere heart, Krishna is behind everything. We don't have to worry about anything. We don't have to be afraid about anything. Right? So that's what Krishna is being mentioned, that when we tune ourselves according to Krishna's desires, we become instruments, then everything becomes joyful in our lives. Right? And we become anurajyate. Anurajyate is we become attached to Krishna. Right? That is the goal, right? We want to be attached to Krishna. We want to be in love with Krishna. So, and then, but on the opposite end, there are people who are rakshamsi, the word rakshamsi, the demons. He's saying that the demons, they run in all directions, so many opposite directions, right? They become fearful and they run helter-skelter all over the place. '87. O great one, greater even than Brahma, the original creator, why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So Krishna Arjun is now mentioning Brahma and the other demigods' name here. He is not mentioning them, but so that he's hinting to that, and he's saying that you're greater than all of them. So because he has already seen that all those demigods are a part of that Virat Rupa, right? That he's already seen that. So he's saying that you are greater than Brahma. Gariyashe. The word he's using is Gariyashe. You're better than Brahma. Brahma, yes, better than Brahma. Right? So he's giving his obeisances. So these three verses will be glorification, right? And he's saying that you are Akshara, you are infallible. So now Arjun is slowly getting back his composure, but now there is awe and reverence in his composure. So I, because of envy in my heart, have not been able to appreciate Krishna. And therefore, Arjun is using this word. Where is that? Is it here? Or probably he used it in the last one. Sthane. So in the beginning of these three verses, where he's putting his glorification of the Kala Rupa, he uses sthane. The word sthane, interestingly, this is the first verse of the verse, first word of the verse, but Prabhupada brings it right in the end. All this is rightly done. So sthane means rightly. So Arjun is saying rightly that because we are envious, we're not able to appreciate Krishna. Therefore it is sthane. It is lightly done that you're showing this Kala Rupa where everybody, you're coming as death. So that's rightly done. You're doing it right, Krishna. Right? And then in the purport, Prabhupada is going to talk about these demigods, siddhas, intelligentsia of the higher planets. So he's talking about all of them. So he's talking of different demigods. The reason Prabhupada brings this out, the concept of demigods in here in the purport, and let's just read it for a minute. Let me see. Where is that? Let me read it. When Arjun saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Okay, and then Arjun understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets. So they were there already. So sometimes, I've been asked this question many times when out on book distribution. People say, "Oh, Hinduism is a polytheistic religion." Polytheistic means you have many gods, especially by the the Western people. That's a common thing because they are familiar primarily with the rigid monotheistic system, right? The Abrahamic religions, Christianity, where only one God is accepted and everybody else is rejected. So that's the conceptual framework they have. But what Gita is revealing to us and what Prabhupada is revealing to us in the purport, and Krishna also has revealed this in the earlier chapters. All have read that we are not polytheistic. We are monotheistic, right? And we're not just monotheistic. We have that monotheistic, that one supreme God. He has distinctive features of having other gods, not as competitors, but as assistants. They're not false gods, they're true demigods. But they exist as real persons with power greater than human beings, but less than a Krishna. So they're somewhere in between, right? You all must have heard of those Roman gods, right? There are so many of them. They're always fighting. Zeus is the god of light, not light, I think, lightning, I think. And so all these, there are different gods, and they're always fighting with us to become supreme. But no, our religion is not that way. Krishna is the supreme. There are other demigods, but they're subordinate to him. And that's why Prabhupada is bringing out this concept for us to be clear that don't forget that, yeah, demigods are up there. And Krishna Arjuna himself is saying that you are you're even more than Brahma, so on and so forth. So that's what's happening here. Oh, that's in this also. Sorry, I covered both the verses. Both of them, Prabhupada is talking of demigods. Yes. So coming to 38. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge, above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. It's a beautiful prayer. It's a very heartfelt prayer that Arjuna is making. This is verse 38. So he's making a very heartfelt prayer here, right? Heartfelt glorification of Krishna. We have to understand, as I was mentioning earlier, yes, prayers are very good, but they also have to be complemented with wise action. Prayer are not like magic wands to solve all problems. Like, for example, we had the COVID pandemic, right? So some people would claim, oh, just pray, and everything will be okay. But no, we have to take some practical steps also. Getting vaccinated, stay at home, and all that. We did all that, right? So prayer is a complement to a wise action. Right? So that is being demonstrated by Arjun here. He's praying sincerely, and then later on he will act responsibly. Right? Towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, he picks up his bow and he says, Karishe vachanam tava, that I'll do what you have told me, Krishna. I'll do it. Right? He never presumed that, oh, prayer will exempt me from using my my bow and arrows. So so once again, prayers, they complement our actions. And what do they give us when we pray and we do wise action along with it? It improves our connection with Krishna, and it gives us that composure to act appropriately. We are not disturbed by things around us that easily when we are praying and doing wise action simultaneously. Okay, so now this is 38, 39 now. 39 and just 1 minute. Okay, 39 and 40 both are obeisances. So you see the word obeisances here also, and in this word also there comes obeisances. 37, 36, 30, 36, 37, 38 were more of prayers, and this is more of obeisances, right? Your Brahma, so let's read it. Let's read both of them together. 30, this is 39, yes. You are air, you're the supreme controller, you're fire, you're the water, you're the moon, you're Brahma, first living creature, and you're the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times again and again. Right? So he's listing some of Krishna's divine opulences, your fire, air. And the reason is that Arjun wants to say that Krishna is the sum total of all the demigods and whoever it is. So, Prajapatis, Brahma, everything. Right? And he's saying that I'm doing it. He's doing that obeisances sahasra kritva. Sorry. Sahasra kritva. Sahasra kritva means thousands and thousands of times. Right? He's not just being satisfied by one offering just once. He wants to do it many, many times. So this repetition somebody would ask, why are you paying obeisances again and again? 5,000 times. We talked about this briefly in the past, that repetition, they always makes our devotion intense. Right? So that's why we repeat everything. Sometimes, or not sometimes, we repeat. Repetition. That's why we are supposed to do chanting every single day, because that makes our devotion more intense towards Krishna. Similarly, 40 is again obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides, O unbounded power. You're the master of limitless might. You're all pervading, and thus you are everything. Right? So now somebody may ask that, okay, Krishna is all pervading, so how would one pay obeisances to that all pervading? From all directions, right? So so now he's using two very good words here, if I can remember. Ananta Virya, that's one word. And the other one is Amita Vikrama. They're two very good words. Ananta Virya is somebody who has unlimited potency, and Amita Vikrama is somebody who has unlimited force. Right? So Arjun is establishing Krishna as the embodiment of being all pervasive by calling him Ananta Virya, that is unlimited personality, and Amita Vikrama, immeasurably be powerful. Right? And so he's giving obeisances to that Krishna from all the sides. So Lord Krishna is due to Krishna's attributes of omniscience and omnipresence, it is clearly established that Lord Krishna himself is Paramatma, or the supreme eternal soul, pervading every single living entity. He is the collective total of all Atma. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter, he's called as Atmanam Akhilatmanam. What that means is that he's the soul of all living entities. Krishna, okay, sorry, I forgot the first part. But the word, it says Atmanam Akhilatmanam. That's the important part. So you're the soul of all livings, all souls. So just imagine that your soul is sitting in your heart, and then in the heart of that soul is Krishna sitting there. That's what Krishna is. But he comes as an ordinary human being. So beautiful prayer here. Obeisances from all sides. Okay. Now Arjun will be in an apologetic mood. Okay. So let's see. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Yeah. So now he's apologetic. Now he's seen Krishna as somebody with 1,000 heads. He has praised him. He has offered obeisances to him. Now he's showing his reverential courtesy, right? So he's saying that you were my only friend, and I did not realize your greatness. Right? I was unaware of that. I would speak to you carelessly, not respectfully even sometimes, and out of just as a friend sometimes. Right? Now I beg forgiveness. And what would he say? He's telling what would he say? I would say, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, right? And then he brings in the word Sakheti. So this Sakheti is being there. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakheti. It's a beautiful poem. I don't know if you have heard. There's a by Bilva Mangal Thakur. He does a very good. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakheti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Who's that? I think Janavi Harrison has sung that song. So I'll send it to you. It's a beautiful prayer, and she sings it very nicely. But so I always remember that prayer when I hear Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti is calling him. All these names, they show lack of respect if you see it, right? When calling Krishna by without the word Shri in front of it is disrespectful, right? So Arjun who used to think, oh, Krishna is son of Vasudev. He's not a fighter. I'm a fighter, right? I'm famous. So he would not address Krishna with respect. He's repenting. He's in apologetic mood. Arjun is a pure devotee. So he addressed him as Yadava, right? He didn't address Arjun as king. Krishna as king in that family. He just called him, oh, you're a Yadava. You're one of the Yadus. You're not a Yadu. You're not a king of the Yadus. So he would address him as friend. Sometimes he would be, what's the word being used here? Is vihara. Vihara, the word vihara means in relaxation. Relaxation means they're sitting at Krishna's home and his wives are around him, and he would, Arjun would tease Krishna in front of his wives. Sometimes even the other word is shaya, lying down on the bed. He would, not think of him as a friend. Once Narad Muni was sent by Dwarka residents to Hastinapur to check on that, hey, what's going on? Krishna doesn't want to come back to Dwarka. Can you please go and check Narad Muni? Can you please, ask him to come back? So he goes to Hastinapur, and there the gatekeeper stops him. He says, oh, Krishna is in a meeting, an important meeting. Okay. Narad Muni waits outside, takes out his chanting beads and start chanting. And some time passes, then he again goes and asks the gatekeeper. Gatekeeper again, oh, there's an important meeting. After some time, Narad Muni gets frustrated. He says, I want to see, can I just peek through the keyhole to see what kind of a meeting is going on? And he looks inside and he sees that Arjun and Krishna are sleeping. They have this big bed and they both are sleeping. But then how are they sleeping? Arjun has his feet on Krishna's chest. Sometimes when you sleep, you get all over the bed. You're dancing all over the bed. So Narad Muni smiles. He says, I cannot take Krishna back. I don't know what the Pandavas have done, what kind of a mantra they have put on him, what kind of an enchantment they have put on him. I cannot take him back. So Arjun has been disrespectful, and he's remembering all those times. And he thinks that he has insulted Krishna in many ways. But then you forgive your devotees, right? Even after so much offense, because you are aparamiyam. The word is aparamiyam here. So Arjun is asking for forgiveness, and he knows that he'll forget him because you are aparamiyam. You're immeasurable. You are infallible one. Yes. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjun. Although Arjun has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. And this makes sense, right? You have a friend who's probably a CEO, and you go and meet him in office, and he's in his CEO avatar, but when you see him at home, he's like a friend. He doesn't have that aura of a CEO anymore, and you love that more because that's more intimate. You don't like the CEO guy. He says, yeah, fine, that's okay for your job, but I don't like you that way. Similarly, Arjun also likes Krishna as his friend, and he will ask later on to show his two-armed form. (43) Let me just see what else is there. (43) We'll pause here. I'll pause here. If anybody has any thoughts, any comments, anything on your mind, now is the time. Nothing? So I'll just show you that. Is that one? Okay, I'll send it to you. I can't find it, but this has been beautifully sung by Jhanavi Harrison. Okay, if nothing else, we will wrap up here. Thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.